everybody is potentially forgetting an option if Camilo Doval continues to stink. And that is Jordan Hicks.
Jordan Hicks, okay.
Do not forget that Jordan Hicks was a closer. Jordan Hicks has 32 career saves with his time with the Blue Jays and the Cardinals, and a lot of you have been wanting to sort of pull him out of the starting rotation anyway. I know you've predicted all year long that he's not going to make it a full year. He is already well over his career high in innings, and he is looking like he's flattening out a little bit. And so that may make you, and this is a fair retort, which is just, well, why? Now, why do you want to use him as a closer if he's not pitching well? Well, I wonder if he doesn't have a completely different gear that he holds off on. And he has spoken to this. He's been like, yeah, when I get into leverage situations, then like closer Hicks comes out and I'm going to, pump another 5 miles an hour onto my fastball. Well, I wonder if that's still accessible and potentially an option because, oh, by the way, you know who else pitched well yesterday? Not just Blake Snell. You know who pitched well yesterday? Robbie Ray pitched really well yesterday in San Jose. I think he also gave up one hit.
Yeah,
boy. In his time now.
Cy Young Award winner against 19-year-olds yet to shave.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
But you got to hit your spots.
You do. I get it.
Look, he's coming.
He is.
He's coming. It is July 15th. I would argue next week after the All-Star break, you're going to get a Robbie Ray start.
That's awesome.
You're going to get one. And now, if you do, you officially have 6 starters. You could just send Hayden Birdsong back down. I get that, but another option would be to play this out a little bit, and if Doval is going to continue to struggle, don't forget that Jordan Hicks might be an option.
Might be. I'm just a little hesitant to do that now because Hayden Birdsong is a guy who right now is a 5-inning pitcher early on in his career, and so that is almost automatically a bullpen game, and Robbie Ray, when he comes back, probably not going to be able to go too deep into games.
Right.
So that becomes kind of a bullpen game, and it gets you right back to the issue that you've had all along, all year, which is too many bullpen innings. So until Robbie Ray is really ready to go full on, and, you see about Hayden Birdsong if he can stick, but you got Alex Cobb coming. I think maybe at that point, you think about taking Jordan Hicks and putting him in the bullpen if you need that extra arm.
Cobb is an interesting one. I'm sort of hearing you're still not going to see him over the next 2 weeks in July. Yes, he's an option for August and September. I think he's also an unbelievable trade candidate because, that means you're not going to see him until after the deadline. So it's going to be very speculative. Do I think you're going to get a lot for him? No. But you also do see the possibility. There's the possibility if everyone were healthy at once, what do you do? What do you do if you're the Giants? Right? You potentially would have Cobb and Ray and Snell and Hicks and Harrison and Webb, and there's too many. Birdsong's an easy one. He doesn't necessarily have to stay. I'm not 1,000% sure that he's uber ready. Like, he's okay.
Yeah.
He looks good. It's impressive for the fact that he's only 12 years old and he's out there doing this. So that's great. But as the league gets a book at him, and I did watch him on Saturday in that game, and, he struggled with his control for sure. And he battled, and he was able to kind of work his way through it. And I'd also argue that a couple of the runs he gave up, the defense was sloppy behind him for sure. But at the same time, the chances are through this whole thing, he's going to get sent back down. But what do you do? What do you do if everybody's healthy?
Right.
I don't know.
And Cobb is a guy who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So for an acquiring team who might want 5 starts or 6 starts from a guy who might give you a boost in a wild card chase, it could be a good candidate because you're right. When Ray comes back and if Cobb eventually comes back, you're going to have more starters than you know what to do with. And I do think that a Jordan Hicks move to the bullpen makes a lot of sense for me. He's already above 90 innings. He never threw more than 70 in his career. And if you could give him a little time here over the All-Star break and maybe another start or 2, and then get him to ramp back up to throwing, like you're saying, max effort stuff. Because right now he's not going max effort all the time. You can't when you're a starter, but get him back into that mindset and build him back up for the short stint, the 1-inning stint. I think he can be very effective down the stretch.
Hey, is that Dodgers series at Dodger Stadium next week? Is that a 4-gamer?
Yeah.
Is that a 4-gamer? So are they looking at 11 more games before the trade deadline? Is that right?
I think it's 12 because they have the A's on the 30th and the 31st.
That's after the deadline. The deadline is actually the 30th.
Oh, it is. I thought it was the 31st this year. Okay.
Midday on the 30th.
Yeah, so that A's game would be after the deadline.
Correct. And so I think it's
3 at Colorado, 4 at LA, and then 4 here in Colorado.
Here, with a natural planned doubleheader.
Yeah, which I love.
I do too.
I think that every team should be required to have a couple of those. Those were the games that we always went to with my dad when we were kids. And famously, we went to a doubleheader. I think it was 1975, Mark. And first game happened.
Did you really?
And
are you kidding with that year?
No,
or
I'm
no?
dead serious. I was 7 years old. And the story goes, my dad said to the family, because we were watching Ed Halicki pitch, and he said, when Ed Halicki gives up a hit, we'll go home. Didn't give up a hit. Ed Halicki, no hitter.
Wow.
Yeah. Game 2 of a doubleheader. It was for my brother Mike's birthday party.
The other team was exhausted.
We all were.
And it was the last doubleheader that has ever been planned.
2 chocolate malts with the old wooden spoon that would break.
Oh my gosh, the old chocolate malts
with the wooden spoon.
There was one
Carnation.
Night, there was one night at Candlestick that it was so damn cold that the chocolate malt guy started lying to people. He's cruising around. It was one of those Candlestick nights where you're like, there's nobody in hell that's getting ice cream right now. Nobody's getting ice cream. We're trying to live, not get ice cream. And he's like, chocolate malts, hot chocolate malts. And then he just started kind of grinning at certain people who caught the joke. And then we're like, we're too cold to laugh. Go away. Stop yelling at us.
Can't even hold it.
You liar.
And that wooden spoon would break so early, and then you're screwed.
It also tasted awful. It's terrible.
Oh, so good,
Sticking wood in your mouth. I mean, come on. Anyway, I stopped that one before it got too bad.